BG3 mods just keep getting better and better. Imagine how crazy they'll be once the official mod tools get released. Yo, what's good? It's Miss Tora. It's time for episode 3 of Must Have Mods for Baldur's Gate 3. Disclaimer as always, BG3 is complete and amazing just as a base game, alright? It doesn't need mods. If you're deciding to mod in general, then these are must-haves. And remember to mod your game at your own risk, alright? I've had no issues, but that doesn't mean issues can't happen. Be sure to read all the instructions and compatibility notes for every mod you install. This episode is gonna be a bit similar to the last one in that we're taking a look at a mod that adds an entirely new class to the game, but most mods in this showcase will be subclass mods, in addition to a few miscellaneous ones at the end. So be sure to refer to the timestamps down below if there's a certain mod you want to check out. Let's start things out with that mod I mentioned that adds an entirely new class to the game and includes 3 subclasses. It's the Harlequin Class mod by Harlequin's Ego, inspired by the homebrew class made by Lexi Abbey. Now I normally don't cover mods centered around homebrew, D&D classes and subclasses, as they're usually not very well balanced with BG3 in mind. But for this one, the mod and homebrew authors honestly did a great job. The mod page introduces Harlequins as a class like so. A fiendish assassin flings daggers from the alley, eliminating her target's guards faster than they can blink. A mischievous court jester cackles among the chaos as his plot to kill the prince finally succeeds. Fire engulfs the town just as the circus is leaving. The flame juggler is now sleeping happily with the payment of his contract. The enigmatic Harlequin delights in causing chaos, especially when they get paid. As a base class, Harlequins stand apart from rogues and bards by revolving around blending showmanship with danger, enabling them not only to fight, but also blend in amongst normal innocent performers so that they can take on contracts with law enforcement being none the wiser. Harlequins go to many lengths to keep their nefarious abilities a secret, such as only having one apprentice at any given time, just like the Sith. This helps them to amplify their eerie reputations. They get lots of features to support this theme, such as being able to enter a rhythmic stance in combat, dealing extra damage but losing the stance/rhythm if they miss, a small amount of charisma-based spellcasting, a few cantrips and up to level 2 spells, mostly surrounding mischievous or disruptive spells, and an extra 10 feet of movement speed if they don't equip shields or armor. For subclasses, they got the Acrobat, who are extremely mobile and can dance across the battlefield to engage multiple enemies from a distance. Their features revolve around some added defense, dashing or disengaging as a bonus action, and eventually being able to fling several projectiles with lightning speed at enemies in a 40-foot cone AoE in front of them. Their next subclass is the Jester, which are these masters of fear tactics and sow chaos and dismay wherever they go. As such, their features are fear themed. They can hide as a bonus action, fear enemies they attack while hidden for a turn with no saving throw, and eventually can make frightened creatures near them much less effective on their own turns. And their last subclass is the Torchbearer. Think of like a sinister fire breather/dancer who capitalizes on their target's fear of the unknown, so obviously their features revolve around fire, making torches finesse weapons for them, dealing extra damage whenever they deal fire damage in general, learning a lot more fire-based spells up to Wall of Fire eventually, and being able to breathe a mixture of alcohol and fire in a cone AoE. Overall, the Harlequin seems really dope, and I'd love to give one a try myself or make a Starion one in a future playthrough. Now let's jump into the subclasses for this episode, starting with 2 for Druid. First up, we got the Circle of Wildfire Druid subclass mod by Kingdom Yoshi. This subclass is for people who want to play a druid for the nature-themed magic aspect, but like me, don't really care for the ability to shapeshift into animals. These druids can use their wild shape charges to instead summon forth a wildfire spirit that has a bunch of really cool abilities, like a melee and ranged attack, a damaging AoE, and a teleport. It also grows in size and power at levels 5 and 9. In addition to other abilities, this subclass gets some extra spells themed around fire and healing. A really fun subclass for those wanting to play a summoner type caster. And let's take a look at the Circle of Stars Druid mod by Halves Glimped. This adds the official Circle of Stars Druid subclass to the game, which is a really dope subclass, both thematically and feature-wise. Their main features are being able to cast Guiding Bolt a few times a day for free, and that they can use wild shape charges to assume a starry constellation form that gives them all sorts of cool abilities, like the Archer constellation allows them to shoot a luminous arrow per turn as a bonus action that does some good damage. As they level up, they get even more dope star themed abilities and their constellations become even stronger, like the dragon one eventually allowing you to fly. Honestly, I'm torn between this and Circle of Wildfire for my personal favorite druid subclass. For fighter, they also have two mods in this showcase. First up is the Rune Knight fighter subclass mod by Shiva Shadow. For Rune Knights, their whole concept is about them enhancing their martial capabilities via the power of these magical / supernatural runes, which is an ancient practice originating from giants. As such, they get the feature Giant's Might, which allows them to a few times per day increase their size and become large, which just looks really cool and comes with a few benefits, including a bit of extra damage on attacks. As for the runes, they can pick from a few different ones at certain levels, and they all offer passive benefits such as, additional skill proficiencies or dark vision, but they also have active effects like conjuring chains of fire upon hitting an enemy, dealing extra damage and restraining them, or they can activate their cloud rune, for example, to become blurred and harder to hit. A very versatile and thematic fighter subclass with a lot of cool different abilities to pick from. For another option for fighters, let's take a look at the Samurai Fighter subclass mod by Bonaventura. Samurais are a very simple but effective subclass in my opinion. They get some bonus proficiencies that tie in with their theme, but their main feature is Fighting Spirit, which allows them to, a few times per day, give themselves some temporary HP, but more importantly, provides advantage on all attacks made that turn. This is devastating when combined with Action Surge or being hasted via a potion or ally spell. Just an insane amount of attacks, all with advantage. Their later features also make them a bit more socially elegant, let's say. A really thematic and effective class, and also there is a katana you can pick up late game, but for the sake of this subclass, I'd suggest picking up a few katana mods that put some in the early game as well. And lastly, for the subclass mods, we got the Way of Sun Soul Monk subclass mod by Kingdom Yoshi again. This is for the people that want to play a monk that has a bit of a Dragon Ball Z theme to it. Their main feature is Radiant Sunbolt, which allows the monk to shoot out energy blast of radiant energy from their hands as an action, or spending a key point, they can shoot out 2 of them as a bonus action. At later levels, they can use their bonus action and a key point to shoot out a cone of either burning or radiant energy. See, this is why I said this was a DBZ themed subclass, just shooting out key blasts all over the place. I'm unsure how strong this monk is compared to others, but its abilities are low cost key wise, so you can use them all the time, and most importantly, it just looks badass shooting these energy blasts all the time. And for the miscellaneous mods, I first want to showcase Gabett's hand crossbows by Gabett. This mod adds more hand crossbows to the game that are out there in the world for you to find, or that you're able to purchase from some merchants. Honestly, a few different weapon types don't get a love in BG3, and hand crossbows are definitely one of them. I think the idea of dual wielding hand crossbows is just too cool, and most of these, save for a few, are pretty well balanced when compared to other weapons in the game. It also comes with an additional add-on that makes it so that your hand crossbows sheathe on your character's hips rather than their backs. This, in my opinion, looks really nice, and yes, it does work with the Artificer's magical firearm they get as an artillerist, and it looks dope. Now let's take a look at the Hirelings Unleashed mod by Keyon95. This mod adds a bunch of new options for hirelings, that being actual NPCs you encounter in the game, such as Alfira for people who've always, believed she should have been our bard origin character or companion, but also ones like Nier, Kaga, and Dror Ragzin as great supplements for an evil party playthrough that already includes like maybe Asterion or Minthara. It's a bummer they won't have dialogues or reactions really, but like I said, as a supplement to a party of talking characters, they work great. And for the last mod of this video, we got the Fantastical Multiverse mod by Dungeons & Souls. Y'all, this is a big one. It adds a total of 54 new races to pick from to Baldur's Gate 3. There's some official D&D races here that didn't make it into BG3 at launch, like a bunch of other elf types, astral elves, sea elves and whatnot, but also Goliaths, Aasimar, and even the funny and cute kobolds. but there's stuff here from other settings and games as well, like races from Final Fantasy XIV. Just be sure to download one of the hotfixes in the mod files, as without it, Jaheira's face will have some wonky textures and she won't look right. Also, as a warning, I've seen some people complain that this mod prevents them from leveling up Astarion, and I don't see any notes on the mod page addressing this, so I'd only use this if you don't plan to have him in your party during a playthrough. Lastly, a few of the races also lack customization options like the Kobold or the Minotaur. It seems like there's only one appearance they have for you to play with, unless I'm doing something wrong. But aside from those few hiccups, this is an amazing mod if you're looking for more racial options. And episode 3 is done. What kind of mods for Baldur's Gate 3 are you most excited for, or what existing ones do you want me to talk about? I'll be making more videos like this, highlighting mods as new ones get released and updated. As always, I'm Mistora. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Y'all be easy. Peace.